Bro, it has ruined everything, dude.
The way that they grab your attention, right? Bro, एक दफा खोल दो explore page पे चले जाओ, जानी कहाँ गए 3 घंटे यार?
I was competing with people that were coming from China, people that were coming from Australia, people that were coming from the UK, tens of years of running experience. Not a single person from Karachi was there in that race.
Every business has 3 components.
Bro, आप ना book recommend करें. आप book recommend कर दें. जिस book से आप ये निकाल के कर रहे हैं ना layout.
नाज़रीनो हज़रात, जानियो और जानियो. It's always good to start anything with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Welcome to the Arif podcast, Mr. Sayyid Danyal Ahmed. To give people a bit of introduction on the man in front of me, this man is a content connoisseur who I've known for a couple of years at this point and has his own agencies that he's launched multiple times in the Pakistani market and the international market. Mr. Danyal, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for such kind words like, bro, you're too kind.
Aadat nahi hai na?
Yeah, aadat nahi hai.
So Danyal, to start off, how do we meet?
You remember it quite nice, and you like the way you described it just a few minutes ago. Like you need to describe it again.
I'll try. So
Go on.
there are very few people that I've met in my life through formal education. And you are the friend of my friend who I met in NED University. And you went to IBA,
Yeah.
right? Can I ask, what did you study in IBA?
Yeah, I did computer science.
You did computer science. The following question that I have is, both of us have tried to get formal education, which has nothing to do with what we do at this point in time.
That is
and
correct.
You, at this point in time, are an entrepreneur yourself. So what do you feel like is the role of formal education? Is it necessary in today's day and age?
Bro, it's a very multifaceted question. And I mean, it depends where you live. For example, if you live somewhere in the US, not really, you don't need it. But if you live in Pakistan and your intention is to go abroad, so to speak, but it's very difficult to go abroad to get a visa even without any formal education. You know what I'm saying?
I wouldn't lie. I mean, it's used as a
Yeah.
ticket to potentially get out of this country.
Yeah.
But a lot of those people, 99% of them who do not have that opportunity.
Yeah,
Do
exactly.
you feel like they should pursue this particular option? Because look at us, right? Gosh, मैं कर लेता हूँ, mama sorry यार, लेकिन मतलब
Bro, it's a double-edged sword. So you gotta understand that ठीक है, यूनिवर्सिटी में आप अच्छे खासे पैसे पे कर रहे हैं, but you're not paying the money for that education, so to speak. Not the course, not the curriculum. You're paying all that for the label that it comes with, and most importantly, the network that it brings you. That is the most important thing. And for example, like we're both from very prestigious universities, NED, IBA. The network it's very nice, dude. So I think for that. For what it's worth, I think like it's a double-edged sword. Like it depends on you. It depends on your priorities.
This is where I'd beg to differ, my friend. I don't know what network exists within
All right. Okay.
bro.
But you're also from NED, so what do you mean? Like,
Brother, that's the last thing I referred to myself as a student who went to NED. But I will not lie, I have met people that hopefully I would like to see at my deathbed from the same university.
of course.
And
That's what I'm talking about.
I give no credit to the university for that. I would like to say that I found people who had a good heart. And I'll tell you what, in that university, I found a lot of people that had imposter syndrome.
Right.
That were 18-year-old people who had no idea what to do with their lives. And the simplest way of getting validation from their parents was enrolling in a university. And for example, even me at this point in time, I don't know what the future holds, but I have some kind of direction. Those people it's like enlisting into the army, for me at least. That's what I think. It's like you had no sense of direction of where to go in your life.
Right.
You, at 18, where you're naive, took a step into one direction, and then for the next 4 years, you were lost. Because let's talk about it this way. Let's say I went to NED. Someone graduates as an electrical engineer. 4 साल बाद market में उसको क्या salary मिल रही है? Bloody 50K, 60K, 70K. Even that, I'm telling you, has gotten higher as inflation has risen, right? So this is where I beg the question. Do you feel like formal education is necessary to succeed in 2025?
No, not really. Not necessary to succeed.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I mean, जो मैंने points lay out किए, उसके हिसाब से, like if the sole purpose is making money, not really. I mean, but there's plenty of ways to make money. मतलब कोई बगैर primary education के भी पैसे बना सकता है, if they know how to make the right kind of videos on the internet. मतलब there's like many different kind of things that you could do, right? So I mean, but it's not always about the money, right? It's about you know what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do not disagree.
Bro,
with
because
you.
like think of it this way. मतलब okay, I'll just say it. For example, OnlyFans. Like people are you don't need
OnlyFans,
you don't
great
need
example.
to have okay बहुत extreme example दे रहा हूँ ना मैं. You You don't need primary education, you don't need secondary education, you don't need a university degree. You can make, bro, 10 साल तक की आपकी generations पैसा खाएंगी. That type of money you can make from OnlyFans. So मतलब, it's not always about the money, right?
I feel like OnlyFans is the best way to segue into the next thing that I have on the screen over here is the role Deen had to play in your life and how you maintained it irrespective of social norms. Why I say that is irrespective of the quantity of money you're able to get through OnlyFans. Halal or haram ki rozi, isme farak karna. Do you feel like it's necessary?
Of course, bro. That is the most important thing. I mean, me personally, like if I say, how am I the way I am, and matlab, I wouldn't call myself very religious, but like
I would call you
I'm
very religious.
I'm
Mashallah.
like I try to look up things myself. So especially in the subcontinent, there is the issue of people inherit Islam, and you would see in your own experience as well, a lot of reverts are actually better Muslims than people who have inherited Islam from their parents. And that is because they actually studied Islam, they actually read upon it, they actually found Islam, rather than as opposed to us, me formerly I would say, who just got Islam inherited from their parents, and they were like, okay, it's just a thing you have to call yourself, okay, I'm a Muslim.
We're not grateful for it the way reverts are.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to find it yourself. So matlab, wherever you are in life, in the position, maybe you're an atheist, maybe you are into Hinduism, maybe you are from the people of the books, but read your literature and then maybe make an informed decision from there.
There was a beautiful video that I once saw which really hit me because my iman was not the strongest throughout my whole life, and I feel like the same reason that you pointed out, I was not grateful for it because I was born into the religion. And there was a point that was raised, which was that everyone judges God's love in terms of what we have in this dunya. For example, there is a kuffar who is rich beyond measures, yet there is the most righteous believer who has not been gifted monetarily, and then he thinks that God does not love him. Whereas then, the example that the Sheikh gave was that for God, this dunya is absolutely meaningless. So imagine you have billions, right? And I asked you for 1 rupee. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm sorry I'm cutting you off, but here's the slippery slope with money. Bro, when you die and you are, at the police sirat, say when the passage that you have to cross where you reach Jannah, right? So like you have to cross the path to reach Jannah, and when you're at that crossroads, it's like people who have a lot of money in this dunya, they will take so much longer to enter Jannah because unka hisab ho raha hoga. They have to account for each and every single rupee, each and every single penny, each and every single rupee hisab hoga. The people who do not have that much money in the dunya, direct entry, visa-free entry, as we would put it in the dunyavi sense of things. So, it's a very slippery slope with money as well. So, like if you...
On that sense, I remember that मैं एक दफ़ा बाइक पे मैकेनिक के पास गया था और फिर पता नहीं उसने बोला था कि ये चेंज करना है, वो चेंज करना है.
Plug shot.
Bro, plug shot है bro. मैं उसको आंखों से देख के देखा, मैंने बोला ब्रदर तुम कोई मतलब काट तो नहीं रहे मेरा ना.
Funny business.
Brother, he said the most beautiful thing possible, which was that कि मैं आपके पैसे खा तो लूँगा, लेकिन अगर मैंने गलत किया ना आपके साथ तो मैं वो पैसे हजम नहीं कर पाऊंगा. ओ ब्रो, मैंने बोला जानी यार करोड़ों की बातें कर दिया यार. तू यहाँ क्यों बैठा हुआ है?
ऐसा ही है.
I'm going to further dive into the point that I was making, which was that God's love is measured on what we have been given in this world, but God does not value this dunya in any way, shape or form.
Right.
So imagine you're a billionaire and I asked you for 1 rupee. Are you gracious that you gave me 1 rupee? Not really, right? Because you have plenty to give. In the same way, God's love should be measured by the iman that is given to you. Because if God loves you, right, He's gifted you iman.
Very nice.
And now I'd like to further ask you, you, mashallah, are still quite young. And I have seen you over the course of the last couple of years, and you are nothing like society. For example, you are very strong in terms of keeping your boundaries when it comes to the religion. Mashallah, you are very consistent when it comes to your practicing beliefs as well. And I'm pretty sure you would say that you could still improve, but I'm just comparing it with normal society.
Right, of course, I try.
Alhamdulillah, brother. So I'd like to ask, where did that peak come from?
So it came from a very strong family unit. So that's where I can start from. So I think, the way I'm raised, alhamdulillah, my parents did a amazing job, a very beautiful family, like perfect household. So, that's the foundation, I would say. And then, we have taaleem sessions every week as well, we have all the kinds of books, we're reading these books ourselves, and we've been given these teachings down, And then when the right time came upon it, I looked into the things myself, and I was like, okay, bro, this is where it's at. So I think, yeah, and I think like God truly blessed me.
Alhamdulillah, bro.
because
Alhamdulillah.
because there's people who wander, and then there's people who don't want to wander. Like if you, for example, Surah Al Imran के बारे में बात कर लेते हैं. Surah Al Imran, verse number 190.
Mhm.
So ये तो I'm not a hafiz, so I don't know the verse itself.
Take it away.
But so the crux of it is that for the people who wander, there are signs in the heavens, in the earth, in the way the sun comes up and the stars shine at night. There are signs, and we have brought those signs for you, for the people that wander. So matlab, when I read something like that, and like I encourage to everyone, like if you are making any big decision in life, maybe there are really 3 big decisions you make in life, like what you do for work, and then where you live, and then who you choose to spend the rest of your life with, marriage, for example. So these 3 big decisions, and if you're doing something like that, if you're at that kind of a crossroads, you have to read the Quran, like absolutely 100%, and not just read it, but like actually understand it with tafsir as well. Like I can like hook you up with the Spotify playlist and stuff. There's the Spotify playlist of Mufti Menk. Like he had a Ramadan series in which he kind of went through every para very, very briefly. So it's just like 30 minutes per para. So as opposed to the whole para, if you were to sit in a tafsir, it would take like 4 hours, for example. So like, it just gives you the crux of it. So when you read something like that, it's like it really speaks to you. And when I read those verses, and there's many other occasions like that, and like verses that would shake you, and if Allah chooses to select you as one of the chosen ones, that naturally it comes to them. So when you read those verses, you're like, bro, God is talking to me. Bro, is that talking to me? Bro, you wonder, dude, look around you. Each and every single thing you have, you have the trees, plants, the birds, the flora and fauna, the stars, etc., etc. So like, yeah, these are signs for those who wonder. So I think, yeah, like that is also very important. Like you have to actually, like it takes work. The same way as in bodybuilding, आप वर्जिश करते हैं और आपने एक बॉडी अचीव कर ली, आप वर्जिश करना रुक तो नहीं जाते ना. मतलब once you achieve that, it's not like okay अब हो गया है, now I have to sit down. No, you have to maintain it. It's the same with deen. So it takes active effort, and you have to show up every day. You have to be consistent. Otherwise, your iman would also like fluctuate.
Agreed.
So like it takes a lot of work. Yeah, for sure. You have to be consistent on it.
A mutual friend of ours actually brought this to my light, where I was telling him, I was like, bro, जब तुम नमाज पढ़ते हो, तुम्हें फजूल ख्याल आते हैं? And please acknowledge, yes or no.
For sure, yeah.
And anytime I say a question out loud, it's me trying to find an answer to it. And I cannot believe that this man gave me such a definitive answer to this question, which is that it's because we do not understand the language. It is as if we are reciting a chant. If you are just repeating something, it's like driving a car. I promise you, like sometimes praying is like driving a car. I'm like, bro, kaun si rakat chal rahi hai? No, say, right? Because it's so much in the flow, where the words that are coming out of my mouth, I have no understanding of.
Yeah.
Right? So we should all aim to understand the words that God has recited towards us.
For sure.
Inshallah, we can better iman with that. I'm going to segue into something that you did mention at this point in time, which is marriage. You're going to finding the partner that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. Getting married young. Both of us are in our early 20s, as so many other men as well. I would like to think that social media has ruined the interactions between men and females, because no one
has ruined everything, dude.
See, it's a double-edged sword. Would you agree?
Sorry?
It's a double-edged sword.
Of course.
You make money,
bilkul.
right? But then your life is falling into a cesspit.
Yes.
If it's the way that they grab your attention, right? Bro, एक दफा खोल दो explore page पे चले जाओ, जानी कहाँ गए 3 घंटे यार? Makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of people in this day and age are like, relationship ho jaye, ye ho jaye, wo ho jaye. What would you say to these people?
I don't know, like maybe यार पता है, I don't say anything to any of them, but like because I feel like उनको असर नहीं पड़े, उनको असर नहीं होगा, because I really don't understand how they're able to do these things. मतलब for example, a very casual example, and this is a very normal thing here in Pakistan, where the guy is in the situation, he has nothing to do in his life, he has not reached anywhere in his life, and वो लड़कियों के पीछे पड़ा हुआ है. Bro, क्या कर रहे हो यार? मतलब इस तरह के आदमी को मैं क्या बोलूँ, you know what I'm saying?
तो bro कुछ मारे
So like it's like talking to a wall. So but if I had to say something, I'm like yeah, like if you really want to do something, maybe get married, and if you can't get married, इंसान बन जाओ यार.
Yeah, I'd like to say two things. One is that the people जिनकी हवस उनसे कंट्रोल नहीं हो रही ना, और वो कह रहे हैं यार बाबा मतलब नहीं कंट्रोल हो रहा, and you have nothing to show for it. मतलब you are going to marry someone else's daughter, bring them into your house and not be able to afford her expenses, do anything else, but तुमसे हवस नहीं कंट्रोल हो रही थी bro. So that I feel like that man should not do anything else apart from focus on himself. But a young man who is able to provide for another partner of his potentially should not delay in any way,
for
shape or
sure,
form,
yeah.
right? Like the fact that 28 साल में शादी हो जानी चाहिए ना, the fact that it is made a milestone in any way, shape or form, I feel like is ill advice for the young, right? तो
Yeah.
मतलब इंशाल्लाह ताला अल्लाह हमें तौफीक अता फरमाए. ज़ौजा सही है, ठीक है.
You said you're actively looking.
It's not I'm actively looking. It is that I
यहाँ पे भी एडवर्टाइजमेंट कर सकते हैं, like it's a
यार ब्रो मुझे शैतान बहुत अटैक करता है ब्रो. माय इंस्टाग्राम DMs is not a nice place, ठीक है ना. It's tempting my friend. It's the I have the ability to communicate well, right?
Alright.
And मैं अपने आप को चिकना नहीं बुलाने वाला, लेकिन I'm not ugly, right? So so attracting women I would not think of as a difficult task to do, but what's the end goal, right? Chasing intimacy is just a cesspit,
bro. But it's also about, you know, not the amount of leads but the quality of leads.
यार marketing का
समझा
बंदा
करो
यार. Yeah, see, and I don't want to get too in depth with this matter at the moment because
Oh,
then
for sure.
मतलब bro, but
We can skip immediately now.
हाँ bro, मतलब let's skip immediately. Okay, so you, my friend, are, I would like to say, very skilled in the realm of content, right? You have a very diverse background. I believe it's something that you started out as a passion and then from where it took where. So tell me the journey about content.
Okay, so I started off as you know, just as it was just a hobby. यूनिवर्सिटी में अब्बू ने मुझे यूनिवर्सिटी में एडमिशन की वजह से to celebrate that he gifted me a camera. It was Nikon D5300. Yeah. So like बहुत beginner level camera, you know. It was a photography camera. Khair, so I made some videos with it and stuff, and then because of the network that I was talking about in IBA, I sort of met with some people, and then you know that led me to a lot of freelancing opportunities, and I started making money from that. So when I was making freelance money, so I was like, okay bro, we can do something here. So yeah, after that I was like, I was a part of a startup. It was called Veneer. I don't think you know this, but so in my second year of university I was working part-time. So you know, I sort of had some hands-on experience with marketing, with video marketing, you know, with everything that concerns जो कि अब हम लोग कर रहे होते हैं in marketing. But like that was like my very first experience. और उससे पहले भी मैं freelance project कर रहा था from the university network. So because like you can take it from this angle as well, that अगर मैं वही काम पाकिस्तान में naturally कहीं और कर रहा होता, तो perhaps I wouldn't be getting paid that much as I was getting paid in the network of IBA. So again, that's what I'm talking about network. तो खैर, तो ये था, and then I had some experience from Veneer, and then the same guy who owned Veneer, he started a marketing agency, and that was V Media. So I worked there for an year as well, and I think that's the place where I got the most grooming in terms of, you know, business acumen, in terms of soft skills. तो वहाँ पे बड़ा अच्छा एक्सपीरियंस रहा. Like I worked with Sannan. I'm not sure if you know him.
Ali?
Sannan Suhaid. So अच्छे हमारे सीनियर थे, उन्होंने उनसे काफ़ी सारी चीज़ें सीखी. Like I learned a lot of things, and then I was heading their post-production, video production department. So, and they were making a lot of money from that. And so I was like, and it's fine. I mean, like I'm your employee. I'm there to provide value. But if I didn't really see growth there, so I was like, adios. So khair, then I quit and then started my own production company. And at that time, I was also working closely with another senior of mine who was in video production, and that was Ham Paracha. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Just Lucid Studios.
Yup, Just Lucid Studios.
I'm sure you've heard of.
You've learned from the man?
Yeah. I've worked with them.
MashaAllah.
Yeah. So basically, they used to. How are you familiar with Just Lucid?
Sponsored ads.
Okay.
Very good quality work. Try to
replicate. Yeah, exactly. So they used to they used to operate in Pakistan, and then they used to outsource some of their work from us. So they had kind of like a, you know, contractor arbitrage kind of deal with us. So we did some work with them and then learned a lot from that guy as well. Very, very good business acumen that guy had. So, that's kind of like where we solidified our work. And then he went to Dubai and he set up his company there. And then he started doing the work there. And so I was like, okay, that's the next step. I started exploring the Dubai market as well. Hum log gaye sare boys. I don't know if you remember. Like me, Ahmed, we went. And then we explored the market. We figured it was too expensive. And like we didn't have enough resources to sort of like set up the company there and run it as a production business, so to speak. So yeah, we that was our plan. But like we plan and then God plans, right?
Brother.
So yeah. So we were working in Pakistan. We try to, do everything. We try to scale everything. But yeah, it didn't really work out because like Pakistan mein jo hai na, I think the biggest issue was in the service was the buying power of the customer. So yeah, like we had to, like it had to happen eventually, like, and bro, this is the first business of mine. Like it had to fail, dude. Like please fail, failure come to me.
Correct.
So yeah,
Love
like
the mindset.
yeah, for sure. Matlab, bro, like how, like if your successful business is 10 failures away, like how fast would it take you to fail, right? How fast would you take it to do those 10 businesses?
You want to get
That
to the
makes
end
sense.
goal,
Yeah.
which is money, my friend.
Of course. So khair, yeah. So we kind of sort of, sidelined that. We're still working with Yeet Visuals, but we're very selective with our clients. Like we're only dealing with, very high budget projects. So we're very selective with them now. But because like if you take it as a proper business, it's not really scalable. And then आप जो है ना चिंदी चोरी market को cater कर रहे होंगे. And again, bro, पैसा नहीं है bro इस मुल्क में.
PKR is not valuable.
I mean, पैसा है, but like in this service, there's not that much money. So in the niche that we were operating in. So khair, yeah. So we then tried and shifted to doing sales in the US market, and that's where we found our footing. And
This is
here we
something I
were
used
kind
to
of
visit the office and always be like,
Yeah,
"Yaar,
yeah,
brother, dollar mein utha."
yeah, exactly. So and like yeah, we can credit some of that to you as well, because like you were like, bro, इंसान बनो यार, ये क्या कर रहे हो?
Because you guys are
पाकिस्तान में क्या
just
time
so
ज़ाया कर रहे हो,
talented
bro?
individuals, my
Yeah,
friend. I was like, you
Jazakallah.
guys are providing
आपका प्यार है
value.
sir, आपका प्यार है.
Love, sir, love.
Yeah, so yeah, like we were you could say wasting our time in the Pakistani market. So yeah, so when we did the first couple of projects with the US clients, and like मेरा personally, bro, दिमाग खुल गया, bro. What is this? Bro, this is so much easier. The people are so much more professional, and I'm making much more money. And it's so much easier. It's so much easier. Like, did I mention it's so much easier?
Yes, brother, you did.
Yeah.
One more time, please.
Yeah. Did I mention it's so much easier? So yeah, I mean, yeah. Again, so वही वाली बात ना कि we plan and then Allah plans. So I think yeah, that in Pakistan we were operating in the ads, vertical ads kind of a niche that और हम लोग की target market थी SMEs, small medium enterprise business, businesses that are doing 5 million and under in online sales. So and online only, strictly online only, because we're doing digital ads, vertical ads. So that was our niche. And like you could say, like, so one could argue that there is a very big niche of very high paying clients in the horizontal ads and the TVC spots and stuff, but realistically it would have taken me a lot of time to develop that kind of portfolio, like 5 years. मतलब मैं ख्वारी करूँ 5 साल के लिए, media science पढ़ के लोग बहुत ख्वारी करते हैं, and then they start their own production house. But like it would have taken me way too much time. I was like, मुझे पाकिस्तान में time नहीं ज़ाया करना अपना, essentially, simply. And especially after I worked with US clients again. So yeah, alhamdulillah, we were working in that niche in Pakistan, and then when we shifted to the US, we found a niche of a personal branding agency. So yeah, because in SMEs in the US, they are kind of like very much so dependent on UGCs. I'm sure you would know about UGCs, right? So UGCs में operate कर रहे हैं, we can't really sell UGC as a service because like we're not physically there. So I kind of
You're shoot
everything,
restricted.
yeah, everything we were doing in Yeet Visuals, we're still doing in the US minus the shooting part. So we don't have to physically be there. We keep our costs extremely low with the labor and stuff, and then we're kind of like focusing on dollars.
I want to dumb this down for people who might think what we're putting out is a bit too complex. This
बिल्कुल करें.
हाँ मतलब कोशिश तो कर लेते हैं यार कि अल्लाह भला करे. People who have no understanding of what this man is referring to is that he is able to garner every business has 3 components.
Bro, आप
Go
ना
for it.
book recommend करें. आप book recommend कर दें.
ये
जिस book से आप ये निकाल के कर रहे हैं ना layout,
This was something that we were going to segue into in a little while, which is book recommendations from the both of us. लेकिन नाज़रीनो हज़रात जानियो और जानियो. The godfather of leads is what I'd like to call him, Mr. Alex Hormozi. ठीक है ना, $100 million offers and $100 million leads. जानी अपनी ये इंग्लिश की टेक्स्ट बुक फेंको, इंजीनियरिंग की टेक्स्ट बुक जला दो, ठीक है ना. अगर डॉक्टर हो, नहीं तुम करो यार, तुम लोगों की मदद करते हो यार, तुम पढ़ाई करते रहो. तो अल्लाह भला करे. आई वुड हाईली रिकमेंड दैट.
नीचे रेफरल लिंक है, वहाँ से खरीदना
ज़रूर सर. तो अल्लाह भला करे. आई मीन एलेक्स बाबा सुन रहे हो ना यार, मतलब शाउट आउट टू यू यार. तो this book is a very good introduction to anyone who does not understand the digital landscape. Just dumbing it down for you. Every business has 3 components: marketing, sales, production. Marketing's responsibility is customer acquisition. Banda dukaan mein lekar aao. If you've ever went to Shine Shinwari, and वो जो पट्टी होती है bro, वहाँ पर भाई, I feel like men get harassed more over there than any female is complaining about in this world. Bro, menu लेकर आकर साप. I'm like, bro, calm down, bro. But what are they doing? They're trying to get customers into the business. So that is as simple as it is. It's marketing. In the digital landscape, how you would do that is you would either run paid advertisements so that you would get inbound leads. And if you do not have money for paid advertisements, you would text people and make it as personal as possible. If it's just text, make the text personal. If you could, make it a video message. But that's trying to get the clientele in. And let me ask you this. In terms of these 3 components, marketing, sales, production, brother, ये बंदा अपनी तारीफ नहीं करेगा, मैं करता हूँ. This man is production king, right? Like, he's just spent so much time around content that he understands the ins and outs. And he's a great copywriter as well. He recommended a great book to me, Sell Like Crazy.
Sell Like Crazy.
Sell Like Crazy. वो भी गंजा आदमी है. खैर, तो अल्लाह भला करे.
एलेक्स hormozi तो गंजा नहीं है ना.
Yeah, खैर मैं I was trying to relate it with Mr.
of course.
Abu Tate.
Yeah,
Abu Tate. Abu Tate, bro, मुसलमान हो गया आदमी. Behave like it, my friend.
Born to pick.
Another day, shall we? So, in terms of the 3 components, marketing, sales, and production, I feel like production is your highest leverage skill, and then marketing is something that is because it's outbound at the moment, I assume, correct?
Yep.
It is something that is more effort leveraged. How मैं sales का बंदा हूँ ना, तो anything you're struggling in sales with, or anything that you like to discuss in terms of the sales aspect of dealing with an international clientele and representing yourself honestly as someone in South Asia?
On outbound, how else would you recommend that we...
You're doing perfectly. That's what I'm saying. No, it's not your lead generation method I'm questioning. Once you have secured the lead and then you hop on an appointment setting call,
right,
or maybe a closing call later down the line,
right.
Tell me the journey that because you recently got into the international market, right? How's that been? Yeah,
it's been tough because like I did not have any experience, but like we had some few warm contacts, and then we sort of made case studies from that, and then when you have a case study, that's where it gets easier. So I think that's the most important thing, is that you should have really good solid case studies, and then आपके पास जो appointment की call होती है उस पे आपके जैसा बंदा होना चाहिए जो कि उसी वक्त एडवांस के पैसे निकलवाए, and then get the thing out of the way.
काटना होगा, मुझे बताना. तो another thing I want to ask
you have any students?
Yeah.
Wait, are you selling a course?
I
should sell a course.
No, I will never sell a course.
Okay.
The reason for that is I feel like knowledge should never be something you should charge for.
Arif room, war room.
Yeah, Arif room. I have goals and aspirations in terms of expanding knowledge to the youth. That is something where once it is more tangible, I would love to discuss publicly. But at this point in time, bro, I will never sell a course. I will promise you that. Don't quote me. It हो सकता है, पता नहीं. See, no, this is the thing. Like, I do not mind putting my thoughts out there, and I understand that over the course of years, I will learn more. I will be more mature than I am right now, and I might be in a different place. So who knows?
But slight tangent. मतलब अगर हम लोग course की बात करें ना, तो I was talking about exiting the Pakistani market. So I was like, bro, अगर आपको कोई business करना ही है ना यहाँ पे, तो 2 business आप कर सकते हैं बहुत अच्छी तरीके से.
Okay.
Like selling courses.
Great clip farming place.
Selling courses. And then secondly a food business. So
why a food business?
Because like
सबको भूख लगी है.
And bro, I don't get it. Like bro, to be honest, truth be told, I do not feel like I belong, because like मुझे नहीं समझ में आता bro. हर रमज़ान स्टार्ट हो गया है, हर रोज़ अपना जो है ना, कोई बंदा अपनी रील्स लेकर आ रहा है, ये खाए निहारी, ये वो पेशावर का, ये कराची का, वो दिल्ली का, वो पता नहीं. I don't get it. Like I cannot resonate with it. So but the point being that people are crazy about food. Like the more oil, the more spice, the more cholesterol it gives you, the more heart attack it gives you, the better. ठीक है ना? So I mean, yeah, like if you want to start a business, either start a food business or start a course or sell a course, because people also love food. People also love
Manjan.
Yeah, manjan, like get rich quick schemes. People love to throw their money at things that don't necessarily provide them anything.
The most value.
Yeah.
A question also I wanted to ask is that you are someone who represents yourself honestly to the international market that you are located in South Asia.
Yeah.
Right? There is no Discord ID with the girl's face.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So Allah bhala kare. Please let me know.
I feel like I might be doing it the wrong way.
Brother,
Like, I should not be.
See, I'll tell you what, you're doing it the right way because that is how God favors it to be.
Right.
It is the halal way where there is complete and
course.
utter transparency. So
Bilkul.
either if you're earning small or not, brother, you are earning the right way.
Of course.
Now, furthering that thought process, tell me how the international market has reacted to finding out that you were in South Asia.
Yeah, I mean, when they see our work, they like it. But when they see that, okay, it's Pakistan, so it's kind of, they get a little bit on their toes.
They're a bit skeptical.
But now that Ahmed is in London, that really helps. And he's still a part of the business, by the way.
100.
So, yeah, so.
Okay, that's a great way
That
to
really
counter
helps. Yeah, that really helps.
And anyone who's doing this as well, this is something that was asked to Usman Asif when I attended a seminar. Ke matlab, we portray ourselves to be people within the US, and if that's I don't on a halal haram ratio, I would just like to put forward that you should be transparent, right? That is the simplest thing that I have to say on that. But that one client or those 2 clients out of 10 that say no just because you're in South Asia, let them go. Moving on. A lure that you currently have at the moment, my friend, which I must commend you, brother. I must commend you. मैं तुमसे inspired हूँ, brother. Is the running lure that has just been. मतलब, I understand that you're an extreme individual. Where if you dive into something, you dive into it with. मतलब. So tell me about it,
bro. I do not know myself. How have I gotten this crazy with running? But like the simplest way I could put it is the bug caught me. Okay. Or maybe I found my zen in running. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like another friend of mine, he said, bro, I think you found your zen in running. I was like, okay, that's a nice thing to say. Okay. I couldn't have put it better myself. But yeah, I think, I found my zen. I found that it's very nice, and like the bug caught me. In particularly, I will tell you, there's this guy, I think you know him, Tabarak Rahman.
Yep.
He ran a cross-country run, the first ever to happen in Pakistan, by the way. 1,600 kilometers, like from in northern area to southernmost area. So he did this run 35 days, more than a marathon every single day, 35 continuous days straight. So yeah, 45 kilometers, 50 kilometers. One day he even did 70 kilometers every day. And उनके last दो जो दिन थे ना, वो कराची में थे. So he started from Hassan Abdal and he ended at Karachi. So Hassan Abdal mein Cadet College he was his starting point, and then at ending point was like IBA in Karachi. So like it was very symbolic as well, like where he studied, where he was brought up, and then where he ended his bachelor's education. So it was very nice. So Karachi mein jo hai na 2 दिन 2 half marathons हुए थे. So yeah, I attended both days. Like I did 2 consecutive half marathons, but like it was beautiful. Like the people I met there, the culture I felt there, because not everyone is crazy enough to sign up for 2 consecutive days of half marathons, or maybe 35 consecutive days of ultra marathons. So the kind of people that you meet there are different. And bro, by the way, also I met a guy, Rayan. His name is Rayan, and he was there at the Karachi day. Karachi, which is then half marathon हुई थी, Tabarak wali race की. And when you hold events like these, you attract these people, bro. And I'll tell you about Rayan. Bro, I met Rayan, and then, okay, we did that run together, and we went about our way. Bro, next event comes up, Karachi Marathon. I meet him again. Next event comes up, SOP Half Marathon. We met again. And so, you meet these people, and then, bro, randomly, I was doing that Matrix Fit Games wala competition, जिसमें मैंने आपको बुलाया था, if you remember. you should hide yourself, like with पिटाई लगा दूंगा मैं. But yeah, khair, like, bro, I was doing that event, and bro, at the same time, at the end of the event, I opened my phone and I saw on Instagram, bro, that guy just completed an Ironman. bro, he did his he completed his Ironman 70.3. Ryan, he's 19 years old. Wait, I think he's 17 or 18. Wait, 19. That makes him the youngest Pakistani ever to do a half Ironman, like ever, bro. So like that, you meet those kind of people there. So yeah, like I've been his fan, and you meet these types of people. And then there was this Kamran bhai as well, who recommended me different places. They recommended me different races, and I met Abdullah bhai as well. Matlab, I just found my people, like if I may just put it like that. So I found my people, and then I got to know about the Margala Trail race as well. That was a half marathon that was happening in the mountains with 1 kilometer of elevation. So
we'll put pictures in terms of the resultant of that race.
Yeah, I have a lot of footage, so you can have it.
Blisters.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I kind of bit off more than I could chew, because you gotta understand that मैंने अपनी ज़िंदगी की पहली हाफ मैराथन 2 महीने पहले की थी, ठीक है, और मैं जो है ट्रेल हाफ मैराथन पे साइन अप करने चला गया. Bro, you know who was there with me in the race, the trail half marathon? Acha, basically, so it was an event, a trail race, a mountain running event. ठीक है, उसके अंदर different categories थी, a 5K, 10K, and then a 16K, I believe, and then a 21 kilometer. ठीक है, so there was different categories, and I could have gone for the 5K. I was like, no, 5K is too short of a distance, bro. But bro, 5K was still very difficult. Yeah, but and so I'm trying to basically preface that jo 21K thi, that was the very end of the segment. That was the most pro race, and I was there. You know who I was competing with? I was competing with people that were coming from China, people that were coming from Australia, people that were coming from the UK, people that had tens of years of running experience. They had trail running experiences, had ran a bunch of marathons. I was competing with those people. Not a single person from Karachi was there in that race, in my race category. I was the only fool who has no experience in trail running, who has no experience in elevation running. I was the only fool in that race category. So it was nice. It was a very good opportunity to network. I met a guy who had like an Italian guy who had 13 passports. So it's very interesting as well, like very good conversation with them as well. Yeah, I mean, like that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. But again, bro, like wahi wali baat hai. I don't think networking in Pakistan gets better than this. Like the networking aspect, the finding your people aspect, the enjoyment that you get out of it, the runner's high that you experience after a very long endurance run. Yeah, it's amazing, man, and I would highly recommend. And मतलब ज़रूरी नहीं आप बहुत ज़्यादा लॉन्ग रन करें, या फिर आप कोई बहुत चांद पे एक रेस के लिए साइन अप कर लें. Not that, but it's just maybe make it a part of your routine. It's very nice. Like it's very nice for your body. Like your body is going to thank you when you're maybe like 60, 70. Your body is going to thank you that you have been involved in an active lifestyle. And it's not necessarily about running, but it's more so about being active. Because ho sakta hai maybe you find your zen in swimming, perhaps. Maybe you find your zen in cycling. Maybe you find your swimming in boxing.
Right?
MMA.
Exactly. Boxing is a martial art, and I compete in mixed martial arts. And this is why I have so much respect for running, because I feel like running, the definition of running is pain, right? It's because ideally you should run without music, right? Music, I feel like, is a cop-out because it distracts your brain. But if you are able to do long distance runs for long duration of times, where, please understand, your legs are just moving constantly, and your brain is not used to being by itself in a zen mode. As you said, you found your zen in running, right? So I feel like that is something that anyone in the public can try, because it really isn't a competitive sport.
It's enjoying pain. It's enjoying
pain, my friend.
Absolutely.
Right? And pussies, I must say it again, pussies, people who just run away from pain, people who cower away from any negative emotion. I can go into a spiral about how people cope with that, but I feel like they, if just tried it out once, twice, thrice, 4 times, the feeling that you get after you've done something difficult is called pride. You're proud of the fact that you went through something difficult. So I feel like this is something that my friend, you, an extreme man, has just taken it to the next level, but anyone can start entry level. Now, Danyal, before wrapping this, go ahead.
One more thing I would like to add, like I do follow Andy Huberman. He is a neuroscientist, that he talks about these things in length, in huge length, dopamine and testosterone and estrogen and all of these things. And so the crux, I would say, is that you have to train your brain to do the things that it does not like doing, your body does not like doing. That's where it's at. That's where you're gonna find real meaning. That's where you're gonna be able to, control the dopamine levels yourself. Varna, bro, it's just a continuous cycle of chasing that fake high, so to speak.
There have been people that I've employed at the office who, after 1 week, were like, "This is not for me." I'm like,
Yeah.
No. This is not. It's not that this is not for you. Sitting in one place for 9 hours in a disciplined workflow is not for you, right? So technically, nothing is for you, right? If you cannot do something that you dislike for long durations of time, my friend, you will not succeed at life.
Of course.
And Danyal, before wrapping this up, a question, because I'm going to follow your journey. Hopefully, God connects us for a very long time. Because I like people that, something that I'm very open to in the business world as well, are people who have iman. Because my friend, if someone has iman, right, they will never fuck you over. And I'm being very upfront about that with my personal experiences. So I hope God keeps us connected for very long durations of time. If there's any value that I can add to your life in any way, shape, or form, brother, I'm here. So I'd like to ask, brother, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Kitna cliche sawal hai na?
Bro, what the hell is this question? Wait. You answer first.
Either dead or Allah bhala
Bro,
kare.
I say this myself as well.
My boys are in the back and they know how true it is. Or Allah bhala kare, not in a stagnant position.
Okay.
Right? That's the best way that I can put it. I have a lot of avenues that I'm pursuing. Sports, business.
Nice.
So whatever God has in plan for me, I will take. Whether it's pain, whether it's success, whether it's death, my friend.
Yeah. I would say likewise, yeah. But because like...
तुम भी मरने वाले 5 साल
I
में.
really... नहीं, मरने वाला part नहीं.
इंशाल्लाह
मरने वाला
नहीं,
part
यार,
नहीं.
अल्लाह तुम्हें इस दुनिया में रखे यार.
It's just about trusting Allah's plan, because you can only plan so much. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm already set. Alhamdulillah, maybe hopefully married, perhaps.
Inshallah,
That's
5
one
years,
thing in the
brother.
horizon.
24?
Yeah, 24.
ब्रदर अगले 5 साल में नहीं हुई मैं तुझे पूछूंगा क्या कर रहा है यार. पहली तो कर.
For sure.
Barely.
Just one. Bro.
Just one.
Just one.
I'll try and convince him outside the podcast.
Bro, in this day and age, what would you do with 4 wives?
Have a lot of kids.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Okay, to each their own.
To each their own, my friend. Inshallah
Yeah.
ta'ala, again, I have people in the back encouraging me to voice my opinions. And see, I'll tell you this, I'm not afraid of being judged, but I do not want to...
Mike.
So sorry.
Yeah, it's
It's not that I'm afraid of being judged in any way, shape, or form. I'm a brutally honest human being. But I would like to take another day or segment to talk about this at length, where I am not the host, and this is not about me. Today is about Mr.
fair
Sayyid Danyal Ahmed. And Danyal, thank you so much for joining me today. This I must put forward. Danyal is the first individual to join me over here in this studio. I must give props to the man sitting over here, Mr. Ahsan Bhai, Encyclomedia Hub, the media house. Ahsan Bhai is someone who believed in the vision that I told him and did a lot of compromising for us to hold relationships. So I'm extremely grateful for this man to host us over here. Danyal, thank you so much for joining me, my friend.
Thank you.